Well, hello again, and welcome again to another episode, Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded. I'm your host, Risch, and you're listening to Internet Radio. Well, today we're going to be on the last article on the Gospel of John by Daniel C. Snaddon. And the last article is entitled Judas and Felix. So, with that said, let's just start our article here. The story of Judas, as an unfolded in the gospel, is interesting but tragic. Its end is total disaster. He was probably the only Judean in a little band of Galilean disciples that followed Jesus. He was the only one that was lost. He was the man of perdition. We do not know when he became a follower of Jesus. There is no record of his conversion. We do know that he was given the greatest opportunity ever offered to a man to become a true believer. His name might have been immortalized forever, like the other disciples, and written in the foundational stones of the New Jerusalem. Instead, he had gone down in history as synonymous and treacherous treason and shame. First of all, note that under the fatness of profession, he deceived his fellow disciples. He played his part as a disciple with profound skills. Consequently, he was accepted by them and seen to be in full fellowship with them in their love and loyalty to the Lord Jesus. Secondly, consider the part of Judas played in the Lord's program. He was one of the disciples sent out to do evangelistic work in the gospel team. B. It is reasonable to assume that he healed the sick in Christ's name. He was given the position of honor and trust, that of treasurer, in the fact that he held the only office among them. D. He, in all probability, with the other disciples, cast out demons. We do not find any evidence that the disciples suspected him of being a traitor. They believed him to be one of them. See Matthew 7. While Judas deceived the disciples, he never deceived the Lord. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Note, the Lord repeated appeals to Judas. He allowed Judas to sit at the table with them, the Passover table. Given the sup to him was the Lord's last appeal to Judas. Favorite quotes. This was the traitor's final refusal, the great tragedy. Now Judas went out, and it was night. In the agony of remorse, he committed suicide. I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. Please note that this was remorse and not repentance. This was a tragedy. Consider the privilege he had in spending 3 years in the company of the Lord Jesus. What is God's purpose in recording this story? He lived on the stage of Scripture as a solemn warning to the professing followers of the Lord Jesus. He leaves the gospel story a doomed and damned man, eternal night. He went to his own place. He actually prepared this place for himself. He had been there for almost 2,000 years, suffering the torment of the Christ rejected. See Luke 16. He that being often reproved, etc., flee from the wrath to come. For some, it is easy to pose as a Christian and then be accepted into fellowship in a local church, then to be baptized and become active in the work, even to sit at the Lord's table, and to be like Judas, not having a saving knowledge of Christ, Simon the sorcerer. Now appeal at this point for the searching of the heart. Profession in a religious sphere of professing and declare of faith in Christ, true or penitent. Pretend to believe. Act as if they believed. The presence can be demonstrated on purpose. On the other hand, this pretense can be displayed unintentionally. One can appear to believe and act as if they did believe, but being ignorant of God's claim and the true fact of salvation makes us appear to be what we are not. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, misery, wretchedness, sorrow, delusion, despair. For you are like whitewashed tombs, which look well from the outside, but within are full of all kinds of filth. Outside you look like honest men, yet inside you are brimful of hypocrisy. Matthew 23, verses 27 through 28. He went out immediately, and it was night. This night is described in Luke 16. In hell, this man was in torment. Torment. There were various things that brought about this torment. 1. There was an agony of sight and recognition. This man saw Lazarus enjoying the blessings of heaven, and inhabitant of hell will recognize friends in heaven. So those that are in hell will recognize the fact that people have gone to heaven. This in itself probably will be hell in itself. 2, the agony of thirst. This man cried out in agony for a drop of water. The agony of memory. Son, remember, etc. Memories will haunt us. Memories forever. Sin we committed. Every gospel message we had heard. Every opportunity we had to receive Christ as Savior, but turned him down. 4, this man was conscious of the great chasm that could not be crossed. Every doomed and damned soul will have the conscience that he is beyond hope, that he is irredeemable, irrecoverable, and irreversible. He will be tormented by the consciousness that he is lost and lost forever in a mad violence of horrifying place. No one will have any rest day and night. Memory will be the worm that dieth not, and tormenteth the soul forever and ever. And 5. Finally, this man pleads with God for his brothers. They were 5 of them, and they were in their way to hell, and one was in hell, but the heaven were as brass. There was no answer. Beloved, there are countless millions of unanswered prayers stacked up on the inside of the gates of hell. There are multitudes from our own generation who are begging and pleading with God to send special messengers to persuade you to trust Christ. Even this morning, if someone could speak to you, they would say, trust Christ now. Do not come to this horrid place. Flee from the wrath to come. Luke 3:7. Behold, now is the accepted time. Today is the day of salvation. In 2 Corinthians 6:2. Well, now we come to the story of Felix in Acts 24, verses 24 through 26. Felix was famous for his proficiency personal life. Paul spoke to him of righteousness, self-control, and coming judgment. He spake of these things. Paul was hitting the center of the target. The Spirit works sin, righteousness, and judgment. Felix was known for his upright, righteous rule, his total lack of self-control in the personal life. In the light of these things, Paul confronts him with the fact that God would hold him accountable at the coming judgment. As Felix listened, he was troubled, terrified, but he did not trust the Savior. He trembled in fear as the Spirit convicted him. Despite the privilege of listening to the most gifted evangelist of his day, he deferred, making a decision for Christ. Instead, he procrastinated. Go thy way for this time. He was looking for another opportunity at a later date. He put off the great question of his soul's eternal salvation to a convenient season, and lost his soul in the process. There are many souls in hell today who did the same thing. My dear reader, my dear friends, those that are listening to this, is this how you are acting until the present time? Are you waiting for a convenient season? 2 Corinthians 6:2. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Proverbs 27:1. Boast not yourself of tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You could be taking your last breath in just minutes from now. We do not know the day and the hour we'll die, but God does. Today is the day of salvation. Hebrews 2:3. How shall we escape if we neglect so great a salvation? Proverbs 29:1. He that being offered reproof hardens his heart shall suddenly be cut off, and then without remedy. Matthew and Luke 3:7. Flee from the wrath to come. Jeremiah 8:20. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and I'm not saved. Almost persuaded now to believe, almost persuaded Christ to believe. Seems now some soul to say, "Go, Spirit, go thy way, some more convenient day. On thee I'll call, almost persuaded, come, come today. Almost persuaded, turn not away. Jesus invites you here. Angels are lingering near. Prayers rise from hearts so dear. O wanderer, come, almost persuaded. Harvest is past, almost persuaded. Doom comes at last. Almost cannot avail, almost but to fail. Sad, sad the bitter wail. Almost but lost. The end, truly the end.